Hey Waffle Gang, and I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Now, I'm excited about today's first story. I've seen something in the title, and it's tree related, so you know where we're going, guys. Say it with me, no matter where you are. Tree law, tree law. This one's from Tracksuit Tirade, and it says, neighbors disfigured my trees and bushes. Claim previous owner gave them permission. I moved this month, Washington State, and my yard borders windows of the neighboring property. The neighbor's yard is on the other side of their house, so their kitchen and living room, plus one of their upstairs bedrooms, and from what I can best ascertain, the window to a study are pressed right against the dividing line property between the two yards, a small stone path. Along the edge of my property, but not overlapping with a divider, which a surveyor has verified is accurate when we were buying the home. We have 3 black walnut trees and 4 bushes. We're not 100% sure of what they are, but sending pictures to a botanist friend and asking the internet, the best guess is honey locusts. About a week after we moved in, the new neighbors approached us and said the previous tenant had promised to trim the trees because they blocked the view out of their windows. I called the previous owner, and he said he promised nothing of the sort, and half the reason he planted the bushes along the existing tree line was because the neighbors complained about his cookouts in the yard, making them feel as though they had to draw their curtains for privacy, which they didn't like. So the bushes were essentially a privacy hedge. The previous owner did just move into assisted living for dementia patients though, so I'm waiting to get double confirmation from his daughter. We told her sorry but no, both because the trees provide nice shade, and without the bushes on the lower level, they'd be able to see directly into our house and vice versa. We went away for the weekend and found 5 large branches and a dozen smaller branches missing from our trees, exactly where their windows were blocked. The trees looked hideous and diseased now because of these giant bald patches and no longer provided privacy or adequate shade. One of our bushes was completely gone, 2 others crudely uprooted from the ground and unsalvageable. The neighbor said the black walnut trees had been there since he moved in 60 years ago, and the bushes had been in 15 years. I figured I was screwed because we don't have security cameras or anything to prove they did this. But as a last-ditch attempt, I sent them an email asking if they knew what had gone on, to which they had the audacity to reply as though they'd done us a favor. Their exact words: "Yes, we decided it was unfair for you to shoulder the burden of the previous property owners' unfinished business, so we went ahead and had a crew take care of it out of our own pocket this weekend. No need to thank us. Merry early Christmas." Opie continues, "I'm irate, especially because I'd bought my girlfriend a bench swing for one of the trees for Christmas, something she's always talked about having. The trees were not crossing their property line, and the bushes were solidly within our property as well. As aforementioned, there's a small dividing stone pathway between the 2 properties, but I also have a recent official survey done just before we moved in. Do I have any recourse, even though they've contorted it to sound like it was a favor? Much appreciated." I kind of read their exact words which OP gave us as like some kind of legal thing to make it look like it was discussed between you previously, that it might defend them in some way. I doubt it will, but someone said to the OP, anything that hangs over their property is fair game. They have all rights to trim it back to the property line. OP replied saying none of it hung over their property, or even the stone pathway dividing us. It was right up against the edge of the divider, but did not cross the divider. We checked all this out when they made their initial complaint in case they had merit in asking they be trimmed. The bushes were set even further onto our property. RTK9 says, "Show it in writing that they damaged the property against your will. Get an arborist out to evaluate the health of the trees, how much it will take to treat and care for them, to replace the bush, etc. Get survey maps that show they're on the property. Get photographs if you can from the previous owners to prove the prior condition of the trees. Sue them in court and nail their asses to the wall. If they're willing to pull these shenanigans this early into being neighbors, they're going to keep doing it if you don't assert your own rights to your own property." Holy shit, I love it when knowledgeable people come in. It's no big thing, says, adding to this, I believe black walnut is highly valuable timber. Get a price for the wood that was taken away too. Opie says, yikes, I'll get an arborist to check things out, thanks. Spy Girl says I'd also file a police report, but after the report by the arborist. They came onto your property and destroyed part of it. Opie says considered filing a police report, but wanted to wait until I'd heard more from this sub. Now I'm glad I waited. I reached out to a couple of arborists and I'm seeing who can get here soonest. Thanks. And thinking back, didn't we cover a story, I don't know, a year or so ago now, about a tree law one where the company went onto a neighbor's property, took down trees, and then the company got in trouble as well for not double checking with the property owners. Because otherwise you can pay companies willy-nilly to go and chop trees down all over the place. But sometime later, OP came in with their update. They said I consulted 3 separate arborists officially, plus had an arborist friend check things over unofficially. The uprooted bushes were honey locusts, and the branches cut from my black walnut were valuable lumber. It was also determined that since the bushes and trees were acting as privacy barriers and no longer served that purpose, that I would require extra compensation to come up with a means of a new privacy barrier. It was initially going to be $2,300 for the missing honey locust, $1,600 for the first uprooted one, and $1,800 for the second. Then sweet Jesus, then we got to the issue of the black walnut trees. One was cut in such a way that it was permanently damaged and will likely have to be removed, so costing them $17,000. The next deemed to have lost enough lumber to be worth $4,000. And the final one, I'm assuming it's $2,500. This was the initial decision. There were just a few more steps before everything was finalized. But then, we had 2 arborists at this point. The first and then a second opinion, then a third, the first we ever called, who came highly rated but was unable to get to us anytime soon, had a cancellation and got in contact. We figured why not, anything to fortify our case. He comes and looks and observes our trees have been afflicted by 1,000 canker disease and they'll all have to be removed. And they may have even been exposed other old vulnerable trees on our property that the neighbors didn't even touch to this disease. The first arborist had raised the concern, and a kind Redditor, and shares the username, had even written about the condition after my initial posting. But no one caught it until this arborist, as it was still in its early stage. All told, 3 other, less valuable trees on my property had to come down. All black trees had to come down. And not only do they owe me $158,000, but they'll be charged with criminal trespassing. Now, I didn't want to be a horrible, vindictive person and target an elderly couple over a dispute like this, so I asked around to other people in the neighborhood and asked what their experience has been with these neighbors. Resoundingly, they said, do it, press charges. Apparently, in the years they've lived here, they've called the police on kids having a lemonade stand for lack of permit to run a business, called ICE twice on a Filipino family on the road, and had similar weird disputes to the one they had with me over plants and lawn adornments. It appears they have to sell their house to pay me, and they won't be missed. Thank you for all the advice. Ooh-wee, the money involved in tree law, man. I will never not find that shocking. I'm not saying that the trees aren't valuable or anything like that, or OP's property isn't valuable, but always seeing the numbers when, you know, you hear about trees have to come down due to whatever reason, you think, gee whiz. And just for anyone that's interested, 1,000 cankers disease, it is caused by the fungus, I'm sorry, I'm absolutely going to butcher this, Geosmithia morbida. It is believed to be able to affect all species of walnut trees, with black walnuts being particularly susceptible. The fungus is spread by the walnut twig beetle. And that was from the Forest Research website. But before we move on to the next story, I just want to give you one more comment from Gwyn, who says, there's no fuck around and find out, quite like a tree law fuck around and find out. Absolutely true. But what do you guys make of this situation? Tree law. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Livid Charlotte 2231, and just to give you a trigger warning before we do get into it, it contains ableism, so if you don't want to skip it, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. And it's titled, Am I the Arsehole Here for being very angry with my younger brother for what he said about my girlfriend. I, male 22, have been dating my girlfriend, female 21, for 4 years. I love her about as much as it's possible to love anyone. Aww. I honestly melt inside at just the thought of her. My girlfriend speaks with a stutter, which I know she is self-conscious about. Yesterday I was chilling at home with my girlfriend. I live at home, but she had come to visit. And at the same time, my brother, who is 16, had some friends over, and they were playing video games in his room. I also have a sister who is 18. My girlfriend went to the bathroom, and when she came back, she was crying. When I asked her why she was crying, she told me that on her way back from the bathroom, she was walking past my brother's room and she overheard him saying to his friends that I had a stupid girl who doesn't know how to speak with me, and that he doesn't know why I would be with a weird girl who can't talk properly. I'm very angry about this, and after my girlfriend had gone home, I immediately told my parents about what my brother had said. My parents just said that my brother is just a kid, and they called my girlfriend too sensitive and claimed that it wasn't a big deal. I absolutely lost my temper with my parents, as well as my brother, who I called a nasty, disrespectful pig. I then went to my girlfriend's house and stayed with her, and her cats, because I was so angry with my parents. My parents have been texting me saying I'm overreacting, and continuing to say my brother is just a kid. Look, your brother is 16. He's old enough to understand that mocking someone's disability is cruel, and your parents' response to calling your girlfriend too sensitive, being hurt by being mocked about a disability, shows exactly where they stand with it. Everyone seems more concerned about OP's, air quotes, overreaction, and then about their son absolutely being vile about someone with a disability by dismissing it as not a big deal and defending the brother. And defending it is going to do him no good in the long run. It's enabling behavior, and I'd be fuming just like you, OP, but a commenter says your brother is a kid, and childhood years are for making mistakes and learning consequences. I'm sorry your parents reacted the way they did, because it sounds like they make excuses for him and not preparing him for adulthood. I doubt you'll change them, so do what you think is right. It sounds like for now the consequence for your brother is an altered relationship with you. I would express to your parents that 16 is closer to an adult than child, and you're very disappointed at your brother, but more so their reaction. Also, I don't mean to stir the pot, but it is possible your parents brushed it off because he's echoing stuff they say. By the way, mum of 22 and 18-year-old, so semi-expert. Not the arsehole. Opie says if my parents have been talking about her like that, then I'm moving out permanently. Another commenter says, that's nice. Your parents enabling their arsehole 16-year-old son to be a nasty piece of work. You're right to be pissed with him and them. They should be knocking that on the head. He's old enough to know better. You're not the arsehole here, but your family, minus sis, are and should be ashamed of themselves. Opie says, my sister honestly looked like she was ashamed at our parents and brother. Another commenter says, one thing to keep in mind here is that she overheard him talking to his parents and did not say this to her face. Although the parents blowing it off is suspect, how do they feel about your girlfriend's stutter? Have they made comments about her behind your back that the brother may have overheard, and that's why they're hesitant about confronting him? I feel bad for your girlfriend. Having a stutter is hard enough to deal with and to be self-conscious of, let alone having someone close to you mocking her. Opie says it's very odd because my dad has always been nice to her, and my mum has actually been very affectionate towards her. So for them to disregard her feelings seemed very two-faced. If my parents have been saying mean things about her, I'm definitely moving out. And the last commenter says, a very rude kid makes fun of people for something they can't help. This rude kid will turn into an adult arsehole with parents like that. So sometime later, OP comes in with her update and says, thank you for all your comments on my original post. When I had calmed down, I took some of the advice I had received in the comments and approached my brother to talk to him calmly about what he said, and my girlfriend decided to come with me. Anyway, my brother did apologize to both of us. We asked him to explain honestly why he said it. My brother admitted that he was trying to look cool in front of his friends. My brother also told us that these same friends had been teasing him for not having a girlfriend after the girl he asked out rejected him. I asked if he was jealous of me because I have a girlfriend, and he admitted that he was jealous, especially after he got teased after being rejected. Anyway, me and my girlfriend discussed the situation with my brother, and we explained to him that these boys are clearly not true friends judging by the way they're acting. We further explained to him that he shouldn't feel like he has to act cool to impress people, and we also reminded him that saying mean things about someone is definitely not cool. We advised my brother to stick up for himself and not to hang out with these people who tease him, and that he should report them if it gets worse. My brother did apologize to me and my girlfriend. Some people in the comments suggested he might have heard my parents commenting on the way my girlfriend speaks. However, my brother insisted that this is not the case. I don't know whether to believe him about that or not. After the chat we had with my brother, I told my parents about how disappointed I was with them and about how me and my girlfriend had just done what they should have. I'm extremely disappointed in my parents, as I really trusted them to be better than this, and unfortunately, things have not changed with them. My parents were angry with us for talking to my brother about this, and they claimed that we're both overreacting. I made it clear to my parents that actually they are underreacting. I told my parents that they should be thanking us for doing the job they can't be bothered to do. Unfortunately, my sister has been having some trouble with my parents because she tried to talk to them about the situation. Because of the way that my parents are acting, I'm going to move in with my girlfriend and her cats permanently. Tomorrow I'm taking my girlfriend on a surprise vacation for Valentine's Day, as I know my girl loves a nice surprise. In a couple of weeks, when we get back from the vacation, I'll move in with her, and my sister is also moving in with us. Me and my girlfriend have both told my sister that when we move in together, she's welcome to come, as my girlfriend's place has a spare room, and my sister was very eager to accept the offer to get away from our parents. My girlfriend and my sister are very close and honestly act like sisters themselves, so the three of us living in the same place will be great. My girlfriend also assured my brother that she forgives him and he is still welcome to visit. And I thought, fair play to them for taking a stand, and the way that they dealt with the brother as well, they was pretty calm about it and explained it in a calm way, which I can imagine a lot of people not doing so. Towards the end there, my eyebrows were slightly raised about everyone suddenly moving in with the girlfriend. It kind of felt like, has the girlfriend had a say in all of this? Which it kind of hinted later on that they have discussed it and it's a joint decision, hopefully so. But a commenter says, your parents are reacting that way because they're the ones who have been shit talking about your girlfriend when you're not around. Your brother denied it, but it's obvious. Opie says it does seem like it, unfortunately. If that's the case, I hope my brother trusts us enough to tell us that eventually. Another commenter says, make a point to stay involved and check in on your brother. He may feel left out with both of you moving and being left with the parents, and that can easily turn into resentment. Opie says, yeah, I'm definitely going to keep spending time with him. And one more question says, does the rest of Opie's extended family know what happened? Opie says, I do have aunts and uncles as well as cousins who have mostly supported me in this situation. And it's just another one of those frustrating situations where the kids or the children of the parents are more mature, as in Opie and the girlfriend here, than the actual parents themselves. They're the ones who stepped up to talk to their brother, explained why his behavior is so, absolutely vile. The sister doing so as well. And clearly, she's not on good terms with the parents anymore for trying to raise that point. It just feels like we're the parents, we're right, and you don't have a say in the matter. But, like I said, fair play to OP. They seem to have this handled in the best possible way at the moment. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories. Cheeky little bit of tree lore in there. Whoo-wee. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love. You see how much tree lore makes my day? It's wild, right? Bye-bye.